So we're at Gatwick Airport and we're going to be going to Belfast in Ireland. So let's see if we can do better than the last time. We know where the brakes are this time. So, here we go. It takes about 80 knots before we take off. Back with the throttle, here we go, yoke, up we go. Travelling about 4,000 to 5,000 feet, or will be shortly. Take a small turn to get onto our heading. Gatwick Airport. I'm assuming that must be out in London. Try and get round onto this blue light, this pink line here. This is our heading. Nice and slowly, no rush. An airplane coming in there. just some information for you and a couple of things that happened during the video that you might have been or seen or find interesting. First thing is the plane I'm flying is a Cessna C172SP Skyhawk, single propeller. In the flight, if you watched the last video, you would notice that I've been using the trim to make the plane level up and that sort of thing. In this, halfway through the video, it suddenly dawned on me that I've got a computer in front of me, and I start to use the altitude computer, which I find actually levels the plane up for me. So I think that I've been overusing the trim basically too much, and I think that shows at the beginning of the takeoff. You see, as I take off, you'll see I'm using a lot of trim to bring the plane up, when really what I should have been doing is putting in an altitude on the computer, and then the plane would automatically go up to that particular altitude and then level off. Lesson learned halfway through the video, which you'll notice. The flight itself lasted about 2 hours, but I've cut this down to about 20 to 25 minutes, I think. I don't know, I haven't finished editing yet. So it is a night flight, which I thought was more interesting because I actually saw more aircraft in the sky.
That might make my microphone a little bit better.
I think that's because of the lights, obviously. So anyway, enjoy the video. I hope it's
trying to find the balance between my microphone and the sound of the game.
Really beginners like myself who know nothing about flying. It's not for those people that play these games every day because they already know what they're doing. This is for people that have no idea how to fly a simulator. Okay, enjoy the video. watching this back, I've just realised that the sound is still wrong. I've now got the voiceover far too high, so it's another adjustment. Now, unfortunately, when you're doing these flights, you do them in one go, in one take. You can't actually listen back until you've finished it. So, sorry about that, but anyway, at least you can hear my voice.
As you can see, it's a very sort of forgiving aircraft. I mean, you can have a little play around. Don't forget, when you're flying these things, you can crash. Don't be afraid to push buttons. It's the only way you're going to learn, really. One thing I found looking on YouTube is I'm finding it difficult to find people that explain all this in detail. They're either too advanced or they assume that you don't use it. It would be nice to see some people showing us exactly what all these things do and how to use them in detail, step by step. That would be great. If anybody out there who's watching this knows anybody that's doing that, send me a link. It'd be great. Right, just going over the sea now, leaving old Blighty behind. Sun's coming up. Course correction. Constantly having to watch your instruments because before you know it, you're flying too slow, you're too high or too low, and you're slightly going off course. So it's not when you put autopilot on, you've just really got to watch your instruments. And I'm sure there's a setup where you can automatically set the plane to go wherever you want it, but I don't know how to do that yet. But we are still flying. There's some land mass in front of us. Straighten up a little bit. It's climbing. This will be very useful. So you only learn these things if you play around with them. So I'm assuming this will get to the desired height, which is 5,000 feet, and it should hold it.
actual flying distance today from Gatwick to Belfast is 338 miles, and the distance between the two coasts, England and Wales, is 57 miles.
Yes, you can see the marker here, 5,000 feet, and that's where it'll take it. That's really useful to know. I've learnt something. I should now level off at that height, and there she goes. And there she is. Not the most beautiful aircraft, but fantastic to fly. And there's the mainland. So we're coming into Ireland. So as I said before, we're coming into Belfast Airport. Never been there before. Now, as any aircraft or any pilot will tell you, flying's easy. It's the landing that's the hard part. And yeah, and also the approach to the airport is something that I'm not brilliant at. So this is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know if air traffic control is going to give me a height to come in, or have I got a guess? I don't know, so we'll wait and see if air traffic control say anything. They haven't so far. They did on takeoff, so we'll see if they do it on the way into landing. Obviously in a jet aircraft this would have been a lot quicker, as I'm only moving at 110 knots. In a jet aircraft you're looking at 300-400 knots. But the faster you go, the more mistakes you can make, I suppose. This is the line I'm following. hoping that's the line I should be following. I think it is. Actually, I know it is actually. So here's Ireland. This is Northern Ireland, part of the UK. And it looks like the airport, so we're going to bring her right down. Right, this is where it gets hairy. Autopilot is now going to come off. I'm going to come in on our own. No, I don't know which one's the runway. Looks like the runway's going parallel, isn't it? Is that the runway in front of me? The V? No, it's not. Okay, there's the runway. Okay, we need to come right way around. This is where it gets a little bit hairy because, as I said before, I didn't know the runway. Oops, we keep ourselves up. Oops, there it is. Now this is the point where I realise I've got no idea which direction the runway is. I believe the runways now face south and north, and you're always coming in from the south, I believe. I may be wrong. If I am wrong, let me know. I think well, we landed. Oh, there we go. I managed to land her.